This is Kalani on the beat.
What's good, y'all? My name is Kalani on the beat, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I've been doing music for about 20 plus years. I started right out of high school. Been doing music even before that because I started in band in middle school all the way up to high school. So, I've been in music pretty much since I've been a kid. I met Ryan UPCHURCH through one of the homies back in Houston. That's his manager now, Be Loose. I have been to Nashville, Tennessee before a few years back when I was doing a couple of beat battles. So a beat battle is when two producers get on stage and they play beats against each other. The crowd gets to vote, and it's all based on crowd participation. I've been to beat battles before, but this was probably the most intense one that I've been to in Nashville because of vote, and it's all based on crowd participation. I've been to beat battles before, but this was probably the most intense one that I've been to in Nashville because the competition was so stiff. The first time I met Ryan UPCHURCH, he was pretty cool. I'm kind of glad I didn't know how big he was, because when B Loose introduced me to him and started showing me his stuff, I was checking out his music more so, and I wasn't actually checking out like who's his fan base and how many people are checking him out. But once I got to know him and everything, yeah, he seemed like a really cool, down to earth person.
How did I first meet Kalani? My boy B was like, yo, hop in this baby back Buick, we're going to Texas. We went to Texas, bro. We went to the hood, kind of sketchy. But you know me, I'm like, huh, whatever. Plus my homeboy, he ain't gonna take me nowhere, too crazy for, well, we've seen crazy before. But anyways, we went to this cool ass spot on southwest side of Houston. Went to his studio and we come in. And that's when we met, and first time we met, I'm pretty sure we laid down like 2 or 3 songs in that same night.
I was impressed at how diverse he was, and how like I was just switching beats and he was just jumping on them. Like, it didn't matter if it was an R&B beat or if it was something that was trap or something that had a little country influence on it or some neo soul. He was getting on it.
If I had to compare both arts from Nashville and to where I went in Texas, I feel like Texas is more imagination and way more colors of spray paint in a sense, and I feel like Nashville is more like a stencil.
I do feel like an artist recording at home is beneficial when it's done properly. And the reason why I say that is a lot of times artists, they're not really comfortable in the studio. And the best place for artists to feel comfortable is in their own home. So a lot of times you're gonna get a different result from an artist by them just being at home, being in their closet recording than you would in a studio. Sometimes they may be 100 times more comfortable, doing that than actually coming to the studio to do that.
Oh, bro, it was so cool. Like I fucking, I scurried in and really painted everything real quick. It wasn't perfect, but lit the room up a little bit, made it look decent. The vibe was great, bro. Honestly, man, that's probably my favorite spot on earth to record because that's where I feel, the most disconnected from the world. So it was really great bringing in the Houston flavor mixed with the backwoods. It was it was new to me, but I enjoyed it a lot.
He's probably one of the most versatile artists I've worked with because not only is he, he's on rap, he's also in country, rock, R&B, and he's able to flip it and make it his own, turn it into his own sound, and I think that's pretty cool. Some of, just from sitting down talking with Ryan outside the sessions when we're just, sitting there chilling and talking, I can tell, how well versed he is in music and the culture, Especially, when he's sitting here, we're having conversations and he's showing me old stuff of, neo soul artists from back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're just digging through those songs and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty cool because a lot of times I feel like artists, they're not really connecting with what music used to be. And I think that's kind of getting lost in what music is now.
I do a lot of different kinds of music, and I'm still interested in doing plenty more. But when it comes to getting music, growing up around where I grew up, you don't get much. I mean, you get country because your parents listen to country, or rock and roll, really. I mean, no one really listens to anything else, especially at that time, the adults and stuff. I mean, I found all these different flavors of music on my own and through friends. I guess it wasn't likely that this happened in a way, but I just, for some reason, had an addiction to music. So after 50 Cent, after I found the Get Rich or Die Trying album, bro, it was, the Mac Miller came out, I mean, there's so much good to pick from, bro. Like, no matter where you're at, really. Oh, bro, they were CDs from Walmart, which sucked because, halftime, that was back when sometimes it was explicit, sometimes it wasn't. Then they went full on explicit, but I don't remember what version of Get Rich or Die Trying I had. I don't remember. I do remember where I bought it, though. I bought it in Walmart on Charlotte Pike. It was like $11.99, I think, at the time. But I did have a cassette, though. The first cassette I had was the Slim Shady LP, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Well, the name of the album is Blue Jeans, but jeans is spelled GENE''S, like your genealogy. And it's just because, I mean, no matter where or how you wear my music, the roots are always going to be faded blue jeans. Me stretching to all these different genres and still never forgetting where I came from, and still implementing that sound throughout. Because the sound of who I was in the beginning is always gonna not be diluted, but be mixed with other things to a sense, to where you can never go back to sounding like you did when you started. It's always the evolution, because people are always like, well, we want you to go back to, we missed this or we missed this. And I'm like, how about you just enjoy that and enjoy the rest of the ride and see where it goes, Especially since I haven't gone back on my word with anything. Like, I've told people from the get-go, like, I'm gonna stay independent doing this shit. Here I am, 32 years old, fucking, how many streams on YouTube? 2 billion on YouTube. I don't even know how many Spotify listeners I have. And that's another thing, like, we'll get to that in a minute. But to run around back to the question, it fits me perfect. Just like the blue jeans. So, that's why I made that.
I had an idea that we was gonna be working on an album. So I just came prepared just in case, that was the idea, and that's what it turned into. I have made albums before in a week. In the process, I mean, it was cool, but the thing about it is that sometimes what I run into with a lot of artists that try to run through the process, they tend to start losing creativity towards the end of that process, but that wasn't the case with this project.
I knew I wanted to make an album. I was pretty much testing myself, saying, all right, 7 days. You got no choice. You gotta make something everybody's gonna fucking love in 7 days. Go. Me picking the beats, me co-producing with Kalani. It was just a test, and I fucking passed that shit. Hella passed that shit. And y'all know when this damn album drops, you can be like, what the fuck, he made this in 7 days? Sheesh. Oh shit, my fucking joint went out.
I think one of the biggest benefits of being able to lock in and work with an artist is being able to vibe in the studio together and pick up on each other's energy. And I think sometimes, well, not sometimes, but a lot of times that's how some of the biggest records were made, when it was more than one person in the room and everybody's putting their heads together, throwing ideas at the board, trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work.
I benefit from just knowing I still got it. I mean, a lot of people are like, might have this idea of me like, oh, he thinks he's the shit, he thinks this. Sheesh. Man, nah. Like, every day I wake up, I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, fuck you, you suck. And then I'm like, oh yeah, well fuck you, on this side of the mirror. And then this side of the mirror. And then, you know, then me and the mirror's butting heads, in a sense. And then I go outdo myself, because that's what I have to do. I don't compete with nobody. But fucking ain't nobody like me, bro. And I used to not think that about myself, you know, until a lot of bad shit happened in my life, a lot of fucking weird ass events, you know. When your brain goes through so much like stress and turmoil, at some point it just goes, and it all cuts off. And you just stop giving a fuck. Like, actually stop giving a fuck. When I started doing that and contemplating my life and my career, fuck it, I'll take credit for what I've done. Shit.
Blue Jeans, man, that's an instant head nod, man. That the way that beat is hard and aggressive. It kind of makes you want to drive fast. The intentions for that record was just to make a beat with no structure to it, really. Just to give something that, you know, give something to Ryan that I knew he was just gonna be able to go in on, cause I know he likes to spit.
The making of Blue Jean, man, dude, I just fucking walked in that motherfucker and I was like, I got a point to prove, bro. I got a point to prove. Everybody, I don't know, I had this feeling, I was like, you know what, everybody's just fucking a little too goddamn comfortable with my ass. For real. You know, like, I let that shit go on for a grip, but, motherfucker, hey, anybody who thinks they fucking know me, or used to know me, you don't fucking know me no more, bro. Not at all. Ever since all that shit, I'm a different motherfucker now, bro. And I'm glad. And that's what Blue Jean was pretty much saying. It was saying, hey, motherfucker, who the fuck wants to fucking use me and ride my coattail? Fucking raise your motherfucking hand type shit. That's what I was feeling like.
Well, the reason why we, you know, intended to make that one the intro was just because it was so hard. Like, Ryan's energy matched that beat perfect. And it just sounded like an intro after he was done to it. Or after he was done with it.
Kind of just fucking happened like that. Really? And we just heard it and was like, this is the fucking intro. That's how. Straight up. Wait, wasn't that the first song we recorded? Yeah, that was. It was the first song we recorded also. I don't plan none of that shit, bro. That's the thing. I do get questions all the time from other artists, from artists bigger than me, from upcoming artists, hell, just people that follow my shit. They'll be asking me, they're like, how are you so good at like putting together this shit and like evening it out so well, and I like how he did this, or when I watch reactions, people are like, man, this is so phenomenal. And I bet this, you know, took a lot of, well, you know, whatever to put it together and structure it like this. No, bro. That's just how I'm feeling. That's it.
I got Barbie on my Harley now, your boy ain't even tapping out. I'ma keep swinging till I'm old gray and can barely yell. Flow so known, you see the now when I spit and tell. Actually, hey, I'm gonna redo that whole last take and stop it. And tell. Actually, hey, I'm gonna redo that whole last old gray and can barely yell. I got Barbie on my Harley now, your boy ain't tapping out. I'ma keep it swinging till I'm old gray and can barely yell. Hell yeah, dog. I'm a killer and they treat me like a clown. Now the it factor is stabbing any rapper back to the ground. Huh. When I die, my last name will be Majestic. Wake up, eat certified gold records for every breakfast. My neck redder cause the system tryna choke me out. They must not have heard I'm the warrior of the rural south. Grew up putting coke cans in the tire of my bike so I could pretend I was a cool motorcycle rider. I got Barbie on my Harley now, your boy ain't tapping out. I'ma keep it swinging till I'm old gray and can barely yell. Flow so known, you see the now when I spit and tell. Encrypted with logistic L. You fire a shot, I heard the sound. I'm a killer, but don't treat me like a clown. The it factor gonna stab any rapper back down to the ground. Who the fuck want it with big bad Skillbilly? I'm hungry as fuck now, and I ain't a meal ticket, a meal getting. The real vision is still listed as John Lennon, Michael Jackson, Dennis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. When I die, my last name will be Majestic. Wake up, be certified gold record. a pistol and glad to get you penciled in. Oh man.
The making of the song Trouble, whew, man, that was something out of a fucking movie, dude. The actual making of it, like, it was something out of a fucking movie, bro. You got Kalani, this dude from Texas, you know, fucking in the middle of the fucking woods. There's like bees coming in the fucking window, and we're like swatting these motherfuckers with our hats. It's fucking hot in there. Everybody's kind of sweating. Fucking my AC just went out recently too. Man, that fucking sucks. It's hot as shit outside right now. We got a box fan in the fucking window. Bees in the corner, bro. He's fucking sweating. Fucking, you know, we're all sweating, wiping our fucking shit. He's filming, you know, and I knew what I wanted. I knew the feeling I wanted. I wanted to captivate like an old soul feeling, but with some serious rap shit, like telling you something and just explaining how you feel about it. That song. The verses was how I was feeling about myself. Like, I'm trouble. Like, hey, you over there, woman, I'm trouble for you. Don't even fucking, nah, you can't ride in my truck, because you're also trouble for me. But on the other hand, with the music business, motherfucker, I'm trouble for you. I'm trouble for y'all. Like, y'all want to think y'all can fucking toy with me and fucking wear me out to where I'm like, fuck it, I'll quit. No, motherfucker, it don't work like that. Not with this fucking guy. I'm going to the end, motherfucker. Y'all, I'll have to be dead. I'll compete with everybody as long as I got to till I get my motherfucking recognition, bro, and I can fucking go harder. I can go harder. I ain't even turned the dial up, bro. I ain't even turned the dial up. So, hey, y'all want to keep acting like I don't exist? I'll be trouble, trouble for you. I am trouble for you.
Now, Trouble was one of those records when I was in the studio. When I found a sample, I was like, man, this sample is crazy. And I started chopping it up. And I found this little pocket on the sample that had like this little funky bass line. Started rocking that. And when I was making it, I was like, man, like I was sending it to Ryan, but I had no idea what he was gonna do to it. And when he started laying it, I was like, man, like he got on the hook, started singing. And I thought, you know, okay, he's singing on the hook. Hook is rocking. I thought he was gonna keep singing on the verse. Nah, he just bust out rapping and he killed it. You know, the song came out dope.
Bro, when I heard that beat, when I heard the beat for Trouble that Kalani had made, I was already in that mood, but I was feeling like I wanted to deliver it in a smooth way. And I was like, and I want some like blues and some soul. And you know, he pulled the beat up. And that's the thing, bro, like, I love all Kalani's beats, but this is with every producer, bro. Everybody across the world, every artist. When sometimes you hear a beat and you're like, that's the one, don't even click on any other ones. I ain't worried about shit, pull that mug up. And that's exactly what happened. I told him how I was feeling. He clicked the fucking beat. I was like, that's the fucking one. Pulled that shit up, wrote the hook in like, fuck, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
Now, Sky, I've been knowing Sky for a while. Like, I met her one time when I was coming down here a few years, doing beat battles back in that, you know, in Nashville a few years ago. And she was one of the songwriters that one of the homies, Coco, paired me with when I was back in Houston. And we always worked through email. I sent her some stuff, and she always took care of the work, sent it right back. And, you know, she always, like, she was just basically really easy to work with, and she got the job done every time. So whenever it came time, you know, I came down here and it was like, hey, we need a singer on this record. We need somebody with a little soul. I was like, man, I got somebody in here, but I was like, I don't know if she's gonna come. I'm gonna call her because I never worked with her in person, but I'm gonna see if she's gonna come through. And she came through. Man, that collaboration was super easy, man, because she came in, like, she knocked out what she needed to do in like about 2 to 3 takes. Took her like about 15 minutes to knock it out. Ryan came in and knocked out his parts, and everything just seemed like it complemented each other. Like, I didn't send her anything. This is her first time coming into the studio, checking out the record, hearing it. And Ryan was just like, you know, go in the studio, go in the booth, and, you know, you do you on the backgrounds. And that's exactly what she did.
Kalani had this amazing singer come over, soul singer, blues singer, and she killed that shit, fucking coming there. She was probably like, what the fuck, where in the hell am I at, bro? going down this gravel driveway, fucking fucking grinding out and shit. Then you get to the end, there's like a G-Wagon and some shit, and there's some fucking crazy ass dogs running around, and like, yeah, she's probably like, what the fuck is this shit? But she come in there, she slayed that shit, bro. Sounds fucking amazing. I love that song. But anyway, I'm Trouble for all y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, so the sample in Trouble, that's like I swear, that's one of my favorite samples just because of the sound of it and like how it caught my ear right off back. And at the end of it, like it's a little part, like you're gonna think it's part of the actual sample on the song, but it's actually Ryan's vocals pitched up so that we can match the sample and make him sound like he's part of the sample.
I do a lot of like weird rhyme schemes sometimes that won't make sense until later on down the line. And when I'm listening to this stuff, there's some things in beats that are really ticky with your brain, and you'll remember it. So even if that bar does break up and goes on throughout the song, if you bring back that rhythm from there to hit that one line, they'll be like, oh shit, and you'll connect it, you know, a lot easier than you regularly would, but just by listening to the lyrics. But on the production side of it, I like I'm getting into being more like hands-on, like with actually making the beats with them and doing different things in my voice. Like for instance, like in the song Trouble, I actually sang with the what do you call that? With the sample, but he pitched my voice up to have that old, like, I guess you would call it like a chipmunk, like AM radio vibe to it, and I actually really enjoyed that. So I want to start doing more. I want to start doing more shit like that, like actually being hands-on with making the beats and stuff like that. And I do want to eventually get to the point where I fucking make the entire beats and collaborate with other producers. So I'm on my way to doing that too.
He's hiding stuff. I'm trying to get it out.
Collaborate with other producers. So I'm on my way to doing that too.
He's hiding stuff. I'm trying to get it out.
Baby, I'm trouble for you. Baby, I'm a rebel, rebellious fool. I like riding around town, every window down. Motor not knocking, but the smoke too loud. I'm trouble for you. And I've been blocking both the chicken, but the blocking at the blocking time. You know what I'm saying? Baby, I'm trouble for you. Baby, I'm a rebel, rebellious fool. I like riding around town, every window down. Motor not knocking, but the smoke too loud. I'm trouble for you. Hey, let me hit that last trouble for you. I ran out of air. Baby, I'm trouble for you. Baby, I'm a rebel, rebellious fool. Baby, I'm trouble for you.
some. Skirt. Give me some, B. Skirt.
This is Kalani on the beat.
Weather Out My Window, man, it's one of those records. It sounds like one of those clean Mac Miller records that you gonna just ride around to. And on this project, I got a few favorites, but that one's one of my favorites because it just makes you feel like you're on top of the world. From the way the beat is, like the beat, when I was making the beat, you know, it already had that feeling. It's a real big sounding beat, especially when it gets to the hook and the build up of the hook. So I was real curious to see like how Ryan was gonna come at it. Like I knew he was gonna sing on the hook just because of the way the hook was. I didn't know how he was gonna come out the verse. But yeah, nah, he did his thing on that one.
I remember telling Kalani, I was like, bro, I need some like Mac Miller-ish type vibes, bro. I'm feeling like Mac Miller-ish. And because, you know, Mac was one of my favorite artists. I never got to meet him or nothing, but I've had friends who have met Mac Miller and told me stories about him, and they said he was like fucking like really genuine and stuff. And that makes me happy as an artist because I'm like, you know, you really want to like the people you listen to, and it's great knowing that I liked his music a lot, and I've heard nothing but good stories about him from people in the industry. So, you know, I was like, I want a Mac Miller vibe because I kind of wanted to talk about some shit that, you know, how I'm feeling on the inside, like aside of everything else that goes on in my life or on the internet or wherever else. But I just feel like people, you get to choose in a sense what the weather is outside when you get up in the morning. You know, like if you wake up and you're fucking, you know, feeling like it's a fucking rainy ass day, you know, you're getting to choose the forecast. You're choosing your forecast. So I feel like people can choose what they see out their window, and that's basically what I've been doing the past 6 months. All the shit I've been through, bro, I ain't trying to bitch about all that, but or complain about it, cause fuck it, I don't even fucking care no more. My life's good because I want to see sun and blue skies out my window, and my life ain't been nothing but blue skies ever since, bro.
I was surprised by the content, especially with like because this is one of the more serious records on the album, and that's something like on the rap side that I really just, or maybe I haven't too much heard from Ryan, and I think it was, you know, the way he came at that song, it was real dope. On the beat on Weather Out My Window, it is a sample going through it, but I like to pair vocals with the samples. And the vocals, I like to always get vocals that don't have anything to do with the sample. So people are always trying to figure out like, man, where did you get the sample from? And also, you know, I play instruments over the samples too, you know, to kind of give it like that live feel.
Do I think it's necessary to have a song like that? I don't think it's necessary. I think it's natural. I think if you can't live your life and write these songs and put them on an album in an order that's gonna perfectly resonate with another human, then you ain't living like a normal human. You know, if you're out and you're doing things and socializing, you know, like you're supposed to do to stay healthy, because whether people believe it or not, bro, like, listen, you can't always communicate over the fucking internet, bro. You got to get out with people. It don't matter if you're fucking Queen Elizabeth or fucking Mo, Larry, and Curly at the fucking country store. You have to, because it just keeps you healthy and it keeps you grounded and it keeps you fucking level-headed. So I think it's not necessary. I think it's natural.
The little atmospheric sounds on Weather Out My Window with the thunder and the rain, we added that towards the end of the record, and that was actually, shout out to B Loose, that was one of his ideas that came out dope. I typically, whenever I'm working on records, at the end of the process, I like to go in and add different effects and stuff to add elements to it, not overdo it, but, you know, to enhance the song. And sometimes like those small little elements like the rain and the thunder, or maybe you might hear a shot clock, or you may hear a basketball hitting the net in there. It may line up with one of the bars and just may add a little more impact to that song.
I feel I picked the weather out my window. And remote control, how my day go. The industry of innuendo. Hit the top real low. I feel I picked the weather out my window. Oh, everybody at the top, but they real low. I feel I picked the weather out my window. Talking about how people, like, you choose the people you're around. Real low. I feel I picked the weather out my window. Everybody make it rain. Everybody too hot. Everybody so cold. Everybody at the top, but the real low. I feel real low. I feel I picked the weather out of my window. Real low. Till I pick the weather out my window and remote control how my day goes. The industry in your window, hit the top real low. Till I pick the weather out my window. Everybody make it rain, everybody too hot, everybody so cold. Everybody at the top, but real low. Real low. I feel I pick the weather out my window. That's it, bro. That's it. Everybody make it rain, everybody too hot, everybody so cold, everybody at the top, but real low, real low. And I feel I pick the weather out my window. I feel I pick the weather out my window. And remote control how my day goes. The industry in your window, hit the top real low. I feel I pick the weather out my window. Everybody make it rain, everybody too hot, everybody so cold, everybody at the top of real low, real low. And I feel I pick the weather out my window. Ooh,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, no title, cause there ain't no stealing my title, motherfucker. Oh, bro. Okay, so on this one, I was like, bro, we need some like fucking, I want some Suicide Boys creepy swamp rap type shit, you know what I mean? So in the beginning, I changed my vocals to like really, really low. Cause I was thinking in my head, I was like, dude, in this video, I kind of want to like act like I'm asleep, but rapping, and then wake the fuck up and keep rapping. So it's like, real like creepy vibes.
Wait for me to fall off. You'll be standing in the coffin. If anybody says they gave me your
They be sleep talking.
I could be asleep and walking. River water drip dropping. Filter on acrylic. Tears like fuzzy filters on the walkway.
Yeah, back road classic since my debut track list. Had the Tahoe smoking stone hit. On the game like tits. Woo! Like a creek bank, bitch. I just want all yes. Be a leapfrog, where to, back forth, but me, of course, fuck dope, my choice, and I don't mean drugs, like salt, true slugs.
Now, no title, I do remember making that beat. When I was making that beat, I had just got in my new drum machine, the Kai Flex, and I was trying to figure it out, but it took me, I swear, that was the longest beat I ever took to make. But when it came out hard, and yeah, y'all see. Now, when I made that beat for no title, I wasn't making it for anybody. I was just really just trying to make something really hard. And I was going through my catalog of beats and landed on that, where I was like, hold up, what is it?
When I heard Kalani's beat, when I heard that beat, I see images in my head, and it kind of tells me what the song vibe is gonna be. So when that came on, and it was the heavy in the background, the with the it was real, like, I don't know, it was familiar, obviously, because I've heard Tennessee artists spit over stuff like that, like Gotti and Dolph and them, but I've also heard in it, I heard like a little Suicide Boys type vibe. And I was like, dude, when I heard the beat, I just pictured like a fucking mini truck, dude. Like maybe a like square bar, like a square S10 single cab, just like going down the road in slow motion with somebody like dragging a baseball bat out the back with like a flint thing on it, so it's sparking. And I was like, dude, this is like backwoods thugging as fuck, dude. I was like, I'm gonna talk my shit on this mug, but I'm also gonna give it that that super deep drop off, boom, and then rap the same, like rap that tone as well to bring it to that more like mobbing type feel.
Now, having beats on, well not beats, but songs on the album like No Title that don't have any structure. Now, to me, in my opinion, when it's done right, I feel like it's a benefit to the project just because it shows the artist's versatility and how far outside of the box they can go.
Sometimes you just got shit to say, you know? Like on some real rap shit. Like sometimes you just gotta get some shit off your chest, and most of the time when I'm in this groove of rap, like it's more like aggressive and more like I got a problem with something. And that's the thing, like, don't get it twisted, like not all my songs are like that. A lot of my songs are stories and are when I'm feeling different and want to put something well together that's like pretty or some shit. But sometimes I'm just like, hey yo, I don't give a fuck today. And that's the ones that ain't got no hooks on them.
And I don't mean drugs like salt. 2 slugs, too slow. Dried up, red carpet, or rug. Ain't no more white cow shit on the entrance. No bonfire for these celebs, they might melt like plastic at a close distance. If you got a big pen with no interest, you're pretty much a photo op like some planned Polaroid picture. I stay literature when I split the word, then get the curve. Wire enough a system to help get me heard. So sit and learn. Slang with art says hit the burbs. Blue notes, blue music, but where the blueprint? All I'm seeing is a CMT2 skit.
You need me to extend the beat or you want to end?
2 skit. That's all I need left after that.
Okay, cool.
2 skit.
Wait for me to fall off. You'll be standing in the coffin. If anybody says they gave me a L, they be sleep talking. I could be asleep and walking. River water drip dropping. Filter on acrylic gears like fuzzy filters on the Walkman.
Yeah, back row classic since my debut track list. Had the Tahoe smoking since my Rolling Stone hit. Dirty boys, that is us on the game like ticks. Best check high and low like a creek bank, bitch. All my horses in the front yard hit the switch to turn the key on. You might see a Bronco D&D pond made a tro, no lane to be a leapfrog. Where to? Back forth, but me, of course, stuck though. My choice, and I don't.
The mixing process is one of the important parts that I feel like if you don't have the proper headphones, if you don't have the proper speakers to get a good job done, that you do need at least to go to a proper facility if you do know how to mix. So that I can hear, you know, the frequencies, the bad frequencies, the good frequencies, what I need to cut out, what I need to boost. A lot of that you can't really hear sometimes, to me, in headphones, and you know, you need to be in the studio and sometimes in a real world environment just to kind of hear those imperfections and get the job done. Big shout out to CMD Shift. We, you know, I swear they're amazing. They let us come in there, use their studio, whatever we needed to use in there, they didn't have an issue. And I appreciate them, you know, a whole lot for that. Between going to Ryan's crib, you know, at Ghost Ranch, recording in one of his rooms in the back, and going to CMD Shift Studio, we was able to complete 14 tracks in a week and get everything recorded and done. Now, my mixing process, I typically like to start, because since I'm the producer on majority of these songs on this album, I like to start with getting the vocals crispy, and then I'll take the vocals, take it over to the beat, and I'll tailor fit the beat to the vocals, and meaning like whether I need to do drops, whether I need to build up a bridge, add some keys to certain parts, add drums to certain parts, whatever it is, I'm changing that part of the beat, then I'm taking it back over to the session and getting everything to sound like it's cohesive. I typically like to handle the full mixing process, just because to me, when it comes to it, a lot of times when I would send records off, especially in the beginning of my career, I would get it back and I'd be like, it's okay, but it's a little boring. Like they didn't really put any care into it. And to me, I just feel like whenever I do my records, I put a lot of energy into my music and how I mix and how I engineer.
It was important for me to sit in on the mixing process of this one because I wanted this album to legitimately have my genes in it. Like at this point in time in my career, you know, of me sitting in with the mixing process, what was the flavor of me? Because that's how I see these things. Because, you know, you have all these artists all over the world that have created such a distinct flavor that they become, you know, a dominant sound in hip hop. That's the level I want to get to, you know. And so this was really important for me to be in on all of that, all the mixing and everything, and, you know, choosing what gets taken out and put in. And you know, hell, even sometimes I've been making weird fucking noises and I'll be like, yo, let's do this to it, and change the noise to where it doesn't even sound like a vocal no more. It just sounds like some crazy ass noise. Like, that's what I want to get into, because when you start doing that, that's when you're on some Kanye shit. That's when you're on some, you know, that's when you are no longer an artist, you are a flavor of music. That's what I want to be. I want to be a flavor of music.
Don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at my woman when you sipping on that. Don't be leaning on my truck cause your G's gon' stretch. Dirt road, no cattle gate land. Don't paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rap road, no cattle gate land. Don't paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at my woman when you sipping on that. Don't be leaning on my truck cause your G's gon' stretch. Dirt road, no cattle gate land. Don't paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think. No cattle gate land. Don't paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at my woman when you sipping on that. Don't be leaning on my truck cause your G's gon' stretch. Dirt road, no cattle gate land. Don't paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at my woman when you sipping on that. Don't be leaning on my truck cause your G's gon' stretch. Dirt road, no cattle gate land. Don't
That's fun.
paragraph, gon' put your ass in hospice. Say this fuck as you want, I'm the rapper they don't think about touching on my cowboy hat. Don't be looking at my woman when you sipping on that. Don't be leaning on my truck cause your G's gon' stretch. Dirt road, no cattle gate land.
Now, some of the gear that I use to, you know, to fly down here to Nashville and get the job done, I just packed my MacBook and Apollo, just a warm audio W87. All that equipment is super affordable. The only thing that I didn't bring down here were the speakers and an extra set of headphones and a headphone mixer. Those are things that, you know, that we were able to get as soon as I got down here. The main program that I use most of the time is FL Studio. Every now and then I'll jump on an iPad and I'll get on Koala Sampler or Logic on an iPad and make a few beats. Or I may be on an MPC or I may be on a Kai Flex. One of my favorite programs to record in has always been Cubase. Now, I've used Pro Tools a lot. It's not really that reliable, it crashes all the time. So if you do the proper research, you can get great sounding vocals recorded in your closet at home. You don't have to necessarily go to a big studio to get something sounding really great and getting good quality, you know, from out of your closet. Just gotta do a little research, spend a little money, and you can get something sounding, you know, pretty good, decent out of your house. I've been using Cubase and it's been pretty stable when it gets the job done. Now, back in Houston, I do have a full studio, an A room and a B room, fully furnished, you know, with everything. What this trip reminded me is that I don't need all that. I don't need a studio. I don't need, you know, my recording booths. All I need is an audio interface, a laptop, and a mic, and I can get the same job done with the same quality. And when it comes down to it, it just comes down to knowing how to properly use what you have.
Shit, preference on studios? No, I ain't gonna lie. I've always thought that was so fucking silly, dude. And silly for numerous reasons. Because, well, one, you don't fucking need all that shit. Like, growing up around here, I was always like, man, how am I ever gonna record a song? It's like they built up the story. Like, that's all bullshit. You don't need to be in $1 million studio with the perfect sound engineers. Blah, 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 blah. Bro, my first platinum record was filmed with a fucking blanket over my head like this in a corner. In a construction site, literally a construction site. That's where that was recorded. Sometimes artists can give, I don't want to say give, they can do too much. And if they did less, the song would be better. And I think people forgot that. You can listen to the radio and fucking hear it. When the song comes on the radio 103.3 or something, and if it's from the past fucking 4 years, 5 out of 10 times, it's gonna be difficult to hear what the fuck they're saying. It's just a melody. They're like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. There's 80 guitars in the back. Don't believe me? Go type in a fucking song and look how many writers and players are on it. I know what you're thinking, like, how the fuck did they fit all these people in this fucking room? Fuck, I don't know, dude. They're probably on top of each other. Like, all fucking, this guy's playing guitar with his elbows. Like, it's too much. And I feel like people miss the rawness. People miss the imperfect things. That's what every artist that is a fucking icon in music, Kurt Cobain, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, fucking everyone who is anyone at top tier had the most perfect imperfections to make their music that timeless music. Being on time and doing everything perfect all the fucking time sounds like shit. And everyone knows it. That's why everyone jams the old shit. What can people expect from this album? It's some UPCHURCH shit, baby.